Hello everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Being ACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and we are continuing with our PM pre-June mock solutions. This is the first case study that you have in your section B. The name of the company is Fruity Company. So without any further ado, let's get started. You might see a graph over here. Don't get scared. It's nothing rocket science. We are going to do it step by step. So the first requirement wants you to calculate which of the points represents the optimum production plan. So you have all sorts of information available over. Right. So the information that is available, let us go and have a look at the information. Fruity Company manufactures two types of concentrated fruit juice, Key and Max, for domestic and overseas markets. Both are made purely from fresh apples that are bought from a family-owned apple farm operator. Production of Key and Max shared the same production facilities where the machines in use are semi-manually operated. The standard cost and selling price information of both of the products are given below. So per liter of concentrated fruit juice, you have your apples, machines, labor, other variable overheads, which leads to your total variable cost as this much for both of these. Selling price is also provided to you. Fixed cost per month is agreed at $7,000 to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted production operation. Fruity Company will always need to monitor closely on all the possible constraints in the every upcoming month in determining the optimum production plan in order to maximize its return with the given constraints. In the midst of planning process for the following month, Fruity Company has agreed to supply at least 2,500 liters of KEE to one of its overseas customers, and the agreement has signed recently. All right, given the routine machine maintenance and normal staffing arrangement, the maximum available machine hours and labor hours for the following month are expected to cap at 25,000 hours and 15 hours respectively. The farm operator has informed Fruity Company that the supply of apple will be kept at a quota of 24,000 kilograms. So based on the above constraints, it has formulated a graph with the unknown K being the output liters of Key and unknown M being the output liters of Max. So all of the constraints which you see over here have been put together into equations, and you have the constraint equations formed for you. These are four constraints. Number one for the apples, which are 24,000 kilograms. Number two, you will see for the hours that you have 25,000. Secondly, for the labor hours, which is 15,000. And then you have your minimum order, which you have promised to give 2,500 liters. And then you have the non-negativity constraints that K and M cannot be actually negative because your output cannot be negative. So this is how they have graphed these equations also. Now the first requirements want you to find out the point which tells you the optimum production plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this equation solved. So I'll randomly pick up any two equations and solve them both together. What I will do over here is I take 2K plus M. This is known as your algebraic method. 24,000. This is the first equation. Although these are non-equality constraints, I have put them equal just for the sake of arriving at a solution. K plus 2.5 M equals 25,000. Now this is the first equation. This is the second equation. Now arriving at a third equation, which I have found out using the second equation multiplied by 2. So second equation is K. So 2K plus 2.5 multiplied by 2 gives you 5M is equals to 25,000 multiplied by 2 gives you 50,000. I've done nothing. I've just taken this entire equation and multiplied this by 2. So now I have equation 3 and I have equation 1. I'm just subtracting 3 and 1. So if I subtract 2K from 2K, I am left with nothing. It's a 0. 5M minus M leaves me with 4M. And equation being 50,000 minus 24,000. So this is what I'm left with. 4M is equal to 26,000. Now I can calculate M. It will be equal to 26,000 divided by 4. So now I know the quantity of M which I'm going to be supplying, the output is going to be 6,500 liters for M. Now I will use this M's value and substitute in any of the equations. Let's suppose I do it in equation 1. So in equation 1, 2k is going to be equal to 24,000 minus m which is 6,500. So my k is going to be equal to 24,000 minus 6,500 divided by 2. So this gives me the output of m that I'm going to be, k that I'm going to be producing. This is my m and this is my k. Now let us see where it lies on your graph. So I have firstly, m is on this axis and I want m to be 6,500. So somewhere between this figure, point C, although seems very close to 6,500, this would be way more than 7.5 or 8. So point B cannot be your answer, A cannot be your answer. It's C or D. C looks the closest one. Let's plot for M also. K also. K is 8,750. So K is here. It is slightly less than 10, but it's more than 7.5. So it has to lie somewhere in this quadrant. So this is how you arrive at point C as your optimum production plan. Moving ahead to the next question, you have to calculate the maximum profit to be earned for the next month to the nearest dollar. So we've already found out the optimum production plan. Let us find out the contribution, and then from that I will subtract my fixed cost also to arrive at the profits. So over here, I have the total variable cost as well as the selling price. So for product K, my apologies, let's first find out the total contribution. So contribution for K and then M. So for K, my contribution is nothing but the sales price, which is 58, minus the variable cost, which is 54. Similarly, for M, I have 74 as the selling price and 68 as the variable cost. So this is the contribution that I'm getting. This needs to be multiplied by the number of units. So K is this much. M over here is this much. So total contribution will be the product of these two figures that we have here. So this is my total contribution. Now, if I just add both of these values, this plus this is my total contribution. Subtracting the fixed cost, which is 7,000, I will arrive at my profit, which is nothing but 67,000 over here. Moving ahead, based on the optimum production plan, which two of the following represent the binding constraints? So over here, binding constraints will be those which, if those constraints are, these are the ones which are causing you the most problem. So if you see the values that you have gotten, let's see which constraint is being utilized how much. If you put in the value of 2k plus m, 2 multiplied by k we found out as 8750 plus m. M is 6500. So you're getting dot 24,000 over here, which means this resource is totally being utilized. If it falls short, it's going to be a problem for your business. Now, this was constraint C1. Let's evaluate constraint C2 also. Constraint C2 is regarding machinery. So K over here is this much plus 2.5 M. 2.5 multiplied by M was 6500. 25,000, this also gets utilized absolutely completely. So even if this falls short even by 1 hour, you're going to be in trouble. Then let's talk about C3. C3, it is 0.8K, 0.8K plus M over here. 13,500, and the maximum that you have allowed is 15,000. So you're way below that. So this is not a binding constraint. C4, let's evaluate that as well. Minimum order, your K should not be less than 2,500. If you see your K over here is 8,750. So this is also you're well within the limit. So your two binding constraints are C1 and C2. Let's move to the next question. Based on the optimum production plan, which of the following statements about shadow price are true? So shadow price will always exist for any of your binding constraints. So like in the previous question, we identified apples and machine hours to be our binding constraints. Shadow price will only exist for those resources which are binding constraints. If we get extra of them, we can increase our profits. We still have capacity left when it comes to the C3 constraint. The capacity is 15,000. So that this resource is not an issue. These two resources, if we get more, we will be able to increase our overall profit. So there will be a shadow price for all three resources is incorrect. There might be a shadow price for minimum order. No. There will be a shadow price for machine and labor. Exactly the first two constraints which are there will be your answer, machine and apple. So this over here is your answer. Moving ahead to, I think this is the last question for this case study. Yes, question number 20. Which of the following best describes the feasible region of ABCD above? So this is the ABCD region. Let me expand the graph a little bit. So this is what your total graph looks like. If you see this ABCD region, this is what they are speaking about. Let us go statement by statement. It shows all feasible production plans that meets all of the constraints with the possibility of more than one optimum production plan. No, whatever your optimum production plan, whatever feasible area that you are identifying, there will be only one optimum production plan. So let's see which statement says it shows all feasible production plans that meet all the constraints with only one optimum production plan. Optimum production plan means the place where you are maximizing your profits. Where you are maximizing your profits is only going to be a one place, one production plan. So this is what you are going to answer over here. With this, we are done with Fruity Company. In the next video, we are going to do the second OT case study of your PM Pre-June mock exam. I hope that this video was useful. Thank you so much for watching.